What's going on, world? Brian Wright here, and you're now tuned into the Brian Wright Radio Show, where we offer advice in the form of content that makes you think and make you think about how you can grow as a person, how you can grow your income, how you can grow your family, how you can grow, yourself and be the best version of yourself that you can be. That's what this show is about. That's what it will be about moving forward. And like I said, I will be putting out content consistently. So today's topic is going to be boring, right? Today's topic is going to be about boring and why boring is good. So, I come from a little town, right? It's a little town called Lillington, North Carolina, Harnett County. I can't tell you how many people is in this town, but I will tell you that it's smaller than the majority. And I'm not going to lie, it has its own way of thinking, it has its own way of operating, and anything that tries to come against that force will be obliterated because you can't fight the masses. I ain't saying that you can't change, one to two people and form something, but it ain't easy to find people like that. So, with that being said, it's really not much out here. It's not, there's really nothing to do, and every time I used to come out here, when I used to come home from the army, I used to be like, man, like, this place is where I grew up at, but there's nothing to do. As a young man, I was 20 years old. I was used to being in the streets of Hawaii, the streets of Virginia Beach, and you can ask the guys that know me. Like, we tore them streets up. Like, some good stories, some bad stories, but hey, overall, they're memories, and I don't regret none of them. But with that being said, every time I used to come back home, it was a lot slower, So I used to be like, man, I gotta find something to do. So I used to always be going over people's house. I used to always be pulling up with the alcohol. I used to always be pulling up with the drink, with the smoke, and all that stuff. And we got to do something. We got to do something. And when I was bored, I remember being like, oh my God, I can't stand being here. Like, I'm ready to go and blah, 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 blah. But, being here now in my 30s, like I'll be 35 this year, I'm just sitting around and just looking at it now. And, though nothing's much has changed, a few more stores and stuff like that, overall it's still boring. But at my 35-year-old mindset, in my 20s, like I was just out there chasing, like most people do out there, running behind people and, drinking and passing out and stuff like that. So I did that stuff. I'm not a saint, I will never claim to be a saint. I got problems just like the next man, vices just like the next man. But now that I'm 35 and I don't have to move around like that, I'm like, oh man, it's boring out here. Let me create. Let me think of new ideas of stuff that I can do to improve the things that I want to do, my situation, my family, all that stuff, Because I'm not sitting around and I'm like, yo, what about all these other things? Like, and I've learned that that stuff is vanity, Like I said, I go to the Bible for my wisdom. So, I remember in this book called Ecclesiastes. Like I said, I'm not trying to be religious. I'm a spiritual person and I'm going to tell these stories. But in Ecclesiastes, right, Solomon talks about how there's nothing new under the sun, right? There's nothing new under the sun. And he was rich. He had all the women. He had all the entertainment. He had all that stuff. But you know what he learned? That it was all vanity. And basically, nothing external can make a human being happy. It's only the internal things, you know? It's only the internal things. Like if you're not right with yourself, I don't care. External things will not satisfy you. But I digress. Let me get back to the topic. So, like I said, being bored now, it's amazing to me. I'm not even lying because, like I said, there's nothing out there anyway. I know that I'm not missing anything. And I know when I go out, I'm looking for an experience. I'm not looking for nobody. I'm just going for an experience when I do go out. Or I just chill in the country and get drunk and shoot guns and stuff like that. Them boys ride four wheelers and stuff out here. I need to get on one. But yeah, besides that, like I'm in here and it's making me be more creative. Like I'm in here every day thinking about what can I do next? What can I drop next? Because that's what it's supposed to be about. But, you think about it, we never really get the time to think about an idea. Why? Because stuff moves so fast. I'm talking about, you ever been on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and then like you get lost into the algorithm? Like if you think about all that time that you could be using in order to create, in order to build something that's going to benefit you, that's going to benefit your family, that's going to make you feel fulfilled in life. You know what I mean? And it don't got to be no Fortune 500 company. That's not what I'm saying. But because we have all these gadgets around us and we scrolling 24/7, we'll get lost into the algorithm, looking at, all them women, looking at all the men, people looking at, all sorts of entertainment. Nobody really has time to really think about like, yo, we're getting older. And if you're young listening to this, you better be glad because, I wish somebody would have told me this. Like while you young, am I saying don't have fun? Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. Have fun with your life, but at the same time that you have fun, plan your future. There's nothing wrong with having fun. I'm not that type of guy that's going to be like, hey, you need to stay in the house. You don't need to go nowhere. You don't need to have no girlfriend, no boyfriend, whatever you like. I don't care. I'm not that type of guy that's going to tell you not to pursue those things because those things are the human experience about what a human needs in order to feel fulfilled. You got to go through love. You got to go through losing love. You got to go through being rich. You got to go through being poor. These things you have to go through. But if you can minimize it and not repeat the same thing year by year, like, okay, I had my fun this year, but I established an emergency fund, for example, of like $5,000 this year, but I still had fun at the same time where I did it. That's accomplishing something to the point. But if you just going every day and you bored and you at home and you ain't got nothing to do because people ain't really going out like that no more because stuff is getting expensive. Everybody's sitting in the crib. Like I really don't know too many people that leave the house that much these days. So what is everybody doing? They just sitting around. Like I was at a party last night. I ain't saying, like I said, I don't judge people, like, but it's like these people are using their boredom to create absolutely nothing. Like it's like we live in a situation right now, and it's cool. But how can we eventually get us a house? How can we eventually build our kids a college fund? How can we eventually, retire in the next 20 to 30 years? People aren't thinking about that. And they got all the time in the world because they don't see the value in being bored sometimes. And like I said, you got 24 hours in a day. If you just want to sit around for 2 hours and create something, that's fine with me too. It doesn't have to be a burn a midnight oil kind of thing. Just do something. Just do something to the point where you are moving forward towards a life that you want to live. Don't be bored and just sit there and don't do anything about it. Like that's so weird to me. Like if you bored and you're not in the situation that you want to be in, why not create a new situation? Why not plot a new situation? A blueprint is free. You get what I'm saying? Like I heard Kevin Gates say one time, why accept failure when success is free? Like I'm trying to tell you, like yeah, we don't live in the most perfect country. Yes, we have systematic racism. Yes, there's bad people on the left and the right. Whatever. I don't care about none of that stuff to be honest with you. But at the same time, it's like we live in the greatest country in the world. Well, one year you could be sitting down, not doing nothing, broke, and the next year if you put in the work, you can change your whole life, man. You could change your whole life. And like I said, it's not about doing anything big. It's about doing something to get you. If the point is if your greatest accomplishment is like a house, like and you got your family in there and you content with this is my definition of happiness, then that's what it is. You never have to be a millionaire a day in your life. You don't have to do all that stuff. If your goal is to become the high school PE damn varsity basketball coach, like, and that's what makes you feel fulfilled, do it. I'm happy for you. Like I said though, do something. Do something. People are bored and they're doing nothing. Like, I want you to think about that for a second. Think about your life. Are you sitting there in a situation that you don't want to be in, right? And then you're sitting there bored and you're not going, man, this is boring. What do I like to do? Do I like going to the beach? Do I like living in Blah, blah, blah. Do I like driving? Blah, blah, blah. You could be thinking about all that, but guess what you're doing? You bored and doing nothing. So guess what's gonna happen? Nothing. But guess what's not gonna go away if you don't build the life that you want? The boredom. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, 10 times out of 10, I'd rather be rich and bored than broke and bored. 10 times out of 10. I once heard Leonardo DiCaprio say, I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man. I pick a rich man every time. And does that mean having a bunch of money? No, it doesn't. Like I said, whatever makes you feel fulfilled makes you feel rich. If a big family make you feel rich more than money, long as you got enough money to support the family and go out and do what you need to do, take vacations and support your kids and invest in their dreams and the stuff they want to do, hey, I'm happy for you, bro. I ain't judging you. But what I'm saying is that, hey, don't just take boredom and just sit there with it and don't do anything about it. That's not cool. So that's the topic of the day. I ain't gonna take this on too much longer, but please listen to me. If you are not where you want to be, then you have no reason to be bored because your whole day after you get off work or while you at work, it's going to take effort. I'm not going to lie. It's going to take effort. Like me, I've been struggling going to the gym. I've been working 8 hours, but I'm like, Brian, you got to get in that gym. You got to get in that gym. You got to get in that gym. And eventually I'm going to get in there, so I'm a procrastinator too. But it's like until I get in that gym, I'm not gonna get the body I want. And what am I doing anyway? If I'm not doing on this mic and I'm scrolling and stuff like that, watching movies, and ain't nothing wrong with watching TV, but hey man, don't let that TV distract you away from your goals. So use boredom to your advantage. Being bored is a good thing if you're doing the right thing. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, I just want to say thank everybody for listening to me. Like I said, the content is coming more. I'm going hard this year, 2024. Hey, just put your head down and work. And I hope you do the same. So I appreciate y'all listening to me. It's the Brian Wright Radio Show. I'm out.